So, the good news is I sold my boat, I got myself a bicycle, and I'm now riding home to Germany. And I will never go to sea again. Just kidding, of course. Okay then, let's go back to the boat and I tell you how I got here and why I stopped here for the winter. In the last video, you saw me reaching the Saone. Coming out of the canals onto the river felt great. The water widened out and it was a relief to be able to let go of the steering wheel for a minute without hitting a wall or a rock. I have to admit that after almost 3 months, 900 kilometers, hundreds of locks, all on my own, I was getting a little bit tired. So I dropped in at the very first marina on the Saone and spent the night there. The next morning, I took off direction south. We were well into November by then. I could have pushed through all the way down to the Med, but I also knew that it was not a good idea to find myself on the French coast with the winter coming and having to take shelter in expensive marinas next to all the other millionaires. And anyway, the next stop down the river was famous Sanjon, and I thought that might be a good spot for the next few months. Saint-Jean-de-Laune is tiny. It's one of the smallest communes in France. It occupies about half a square kilometer and has less than 1,000 people. At the same time, being at the crossroads of the French canal system, with 5 canals from west, north and east leading into the area, and the connection south via Saone and Rhône to the Mediterranean, it has become the largest interior boating center and marina of France. Between the marinas, the old lock, the canal sides and the rental bays, there may well be more boats than people in town, and a lot of those boats are inhabited. There are a few sailing boats here now for the winter on transit, but most of these boats will never go to sea, they stay on the canal system. There are many old converged barges and what the French call pénichettes. These are smaller custom-built barges, and many of them are permanently lived on. I don't have any precise numbers, but I think there may be about 100 people living on their boats here. At the marina, there is a post container with its own address and a secure door, and inside there's a mail shelf that could serve a small village. When I feel like I need to get some exercise, I like to take a walk around the different marina basins and locks and have a look at the boats. Some of the boats seem to have been here a very long time, too long for some of them. If you're looking for a cheap project boat to cruise the canals or even just to live on, this is the place to come to. Although some of them, even if you got them really cheap, well, maybe better not. But then, no surprise, winter came and then the cold hit. The water was covered in ice and snow. It looked lovely, but it was a bit silly to have pushed bananas south for so long, only to be freezing in -10 degrees, when I could have stayed in the mild Dutch sea climate in the north. Well, this will be my very last winter in the north, I promise. With the end of the winter, my personal lawn in my backyard had grown a lot, so they sent in the floating lawn mowers. I also had some issues on the boat. Last year I hit a log, so I needed a new propeller. Also, I had caught a fishing line and the seals on my propeller shaft had to be changed. Then my fridge died on me and I had to get a new one and make sure that the light inside will turn off when I close the lid. All that quite expensive, really. And if that was not enough, my 40-year-old water tank started leaking and I had to get a new one. Had to dig the old one out, which was not easy, and then fit the new one in. Some people like boat refit videos, I don't, because I am the one who has to do it. But yes, it's nice to have a clean new tank, even if my tea now smells like PVC. Can you hear the crows up there? They're busy building their nests now. Which means it's March, the winter is over, and I am going to hit the river soon. The Saone and the Rhone will open again, and we will leave here and head down towards the Mediterranean. But that will be in the next video. Okay, ciao everybody.